welcome back to Speakers Helping Speakers, a podcast all about speaking, being a speaker, getting on stages, and helping other people get on stages. So I'm super excited to have my guest Morgan with us today. Morgan, thank you so much for the time today. I really appreciate it.
Hey, thank you, Macy. I'm happy to be here.
Well, when I started this podcast, one of the first people I definitely had to reach out to was Morgan, because Morgan and I shared the TEDx Cherry Creek High School stage last year in Denver, Colorado, and her talk was just phenomenal. I believe you closed out the event and you just did an amazing job. You blew everyone away. And I don't even know how many views your TEDx video has, but it's exorbitant. So huge hats off to you and your success.
Oh, thank you. Last I checked, well, it had 65,000 in the first month. And from there, I kind of just stopped looking because I had like, oh my gosh, where is it going?
Well, that's amazing and incredible to hear. It definitely deserved. So, Morgan, why don't you kick us off and just tell us a little bit about, your journey. How did you get into speaking or how did you realize this was something that you wanted to do?
Speaking wasn't really on my bucket list. I'm actually an introvert. I appreciate being behind the scenes. And for much of my career, up until maybe the last decade or so, I have been behind the scenes. And I remember kind of growing up in school, I was the quiet one in the back of the room as well, had all these great ideas in my head, but didn't have the confidence to really use my voice. And
Mm,
when I got my first few corporate jobs, I fell into the role of the corporate training manager, which almost forced me in a good way to, instead of designing the training and being in the back of the room and in the back office, putting myself in front of classrooms and delivering the onboarding training or the manager training. And I really enjoyed that, not for the fact of delivering the content, but connecting with the people and just getting to see all the little aha moments and light bulbs going off and on top of people's heads and in the room. And that's what I really connected to. And the more that I did the corporate training gig for a number of years, it kind of led me naturally to speak at SHRM stages, American Society of Talent Development, for their chapter gatherings where they would get a local speaker within their industry to talk on leadership or training or team building or whatever the case may be. And from there, I really started to develop my voice and get that confidence on stage. And it just blossomed from there until I was able to land a TEDx talk, speak at Columbia University, speak at Oxford University, and it's just kind of picked up from there.
wow, that's so cool. It's so amazing to me how many speakers I actually talk to and they're like, "Yeah, actually I'm an introvert." It's not necessarily I wasn't really the center of attention as a kid. I like to be in the back pulling the strings. And it's really fascinating to me because I'm more extroverted than I'm not. But for you, do you have any maybe like rituals or anything that you do to kind of preserve your energy possibly before you get on stage with those nerves?
I do. A couple things before and after. You probably saw me when we were getting ready for our TED events. I had to find a quiet space where I
Mhm.
could just run through my talk in my head. But more so than that, I was doing my breathing exercises and just really getting rooted and grounded in my why. Why am I here?
Mm,
What is the outcome that I want to receive from giving this talk? And really connecting with my why helps to keep me away from all that anxiety and those nerves that would cause my shoulders to tense up and be more fluid
yeah.
with my talk itself. So that's what I do beforehand, right before I go on stage. So right behind those curtains, I do something a little silly and probably no one realizes that I do it, but I imagine I have this giant dragon tail coming from the base of my neck all the way down out into the back side of me. And I lean back on it so I can gain that confidence and again kind of ground myself as I'm walking out there into the stage. And it seems a little silly, but it works for me because when you're nervous, you lean forward. And as women, we kind of curl. So
Yeah.
just leaning back on that dragon tail, I don't know, just gives me that bit of confidence and kind of goofiness that I
Yeah.
need to kind of stay in my script and deliver the message I need to do on stage.
Exactly. I remember the morning of our TEDx event, there was like a portion, there's a complete paragraph in my talk that I just kept on forgetting no matter what I did. You know, I would just say it, and I think a lot of the youth were around me at the time, so they can like t attest to like I would be like, wait, what's the word I'm missing again? And they're like, it's this one. I'm like, okay, it is this one. So I completely understand what you mean by like needing that like that breath of fresh air to kind of take yourself out of the moment, and just laugh a little bit before you really go on stage and you're like, this is a TEDx event. This is a TEDx talk. I'm going to be a TEDx speaker. I need to not take myself so seriously in that moment.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's,
absolutely.
I might steal that or something like that. Like,
Do
that's
it.
so fun. I
Yeah,
love it.
absolutely. And then afterwards, because I am the introvert and I need to
Mhm,
recharge, a lot of people go out and they celebrate. If I need to do a happy hour or whatever, I will. I'm doing it more for other people than for myself because I really just want to go back to my room, my hotel room, wherever I'm at, and not talk to anyone for the whole
exactly.
rest of the night. I
Yeah.
might not even turn the TV on. I just need quiet for a while.
I completely understand. I think after our TEDx event, we went out to ice cream with some of our friends, and then after, my parents went to go return the rental car, and I thought I was gonna go to sleep, but I just kinda laid in my bed, and I was just kinda, like, reading on and off on my phone, and I was just kinda laying there, and my parents got back, and they're like, "Wait, why aren't you, like, actually sleepy yet?" I'm like, "You know what? I don't know. I'm just laying here. I need that."
Yeah, I need that right now.
Exactly. Well, I'd love for you to talk about kind of the background that you have right now, Empower Venture or what, yeah,
Forever.
Empower Venturous. Oh, I love that. Can you talk a little bit about what that is and what you're helping women achieve?
Yes, so I am the co-founder, one of three for Empowered Ventures. We have launched a nationwide women-owned business directory online, soon to be international. We're trying to see how we can open it up to our Canadian friends here real soon. And essentially, one of my co-founders built a Facebook group here in our local Reno, Nevada area for women to connect with women to support other businesses, that quickly grew to 4,000 members. And we were like, there's probably something that we can do with this to help connect women entrepreneurs with each other so that they can build a connection and a network with each other. But also, so if I'm looking for a women owned business that's a plumber or something, not we wouldn't typically know, I have a place to go to find that. So it's almost two tiered to help consumers find those women owned businesses and to help women owned business owners connect with each other. And so we launched this probably, well, at the beginning of this year, and have since added additional services and coaching for our directory members. And the more members that join the directory, the more funds and availability we have to give back to members with events and speaking opportunities, as well as coaching and business services as well. So it's just kind of, there's a snowball effect in a good way occurring across the nation with this business directory that we've launched. It's pretty
Yeah,
exciting.
that is so exciting. So, what should people know if they're interested in learning a little bit more? How should they find you? Or what should they kind of know before they look further?
Yeah, well, they can go to womenowned-business.com and it's free to search. You can search all the directory offerings right now, and then you can see it's like the price of a basic or super fancy coffee a month. I think there's a $5 a month plan or a $10 a month plan to become a
Oh,
directory member.
yeah.
Yeah, it's super affordable. And like I said, we're adding services and opportunities all the time for our directory members. So that would be the first place to start, is check
Yeah.
us out on our website.
I love the URL. It's so easy, I think, and it tells you exactly what it is, you
Right.
know? I think that's because there's so many URLs nowadays, like, there's like, "Oh, this one, it'll have, like, an extra letter," or, "This one will take away a letter," to make it easy for people, but that works. So I'll make sure I have all of Morgan's information and including the website link in the description, so if you wanna click, copy, and paste, check it out just a little bit easier, definitely make sure you do that. That's a great idea, and you mentioned did you mention the states? I know you said it was, nationwide, but I believe, like, even Florida is a part of it right now as well.
Yeah, right now it's open to all 50 states, and we're working with our web designer to see how we might be able to open it up to our Canadian friends and even further internationally over the coming months. But right
I
now,
love that.
solid for those 50 states.
That's amazing. Well, Morgan, I really appreciate you coming on and sharing a few minutes. As we close out the podcast today, I'd love to hear kind of from you, especially as you're an introvert, but you've been on such big stages like Columbia and TEDx and things like that. What advice would you have for other introverts who want to kind of put themselves out there, but it's hard, it's scary. You're not sure what the best approach is. I'm sure a lot of event organizers get thousands of pictures. What would you kind of recommend people that they can kind of put themselves out there in a way that honors them, but also honors the organization?
I mean, I think first for any speaker, you have to really get connected to your why that I mentioned earlier.
Mm,
When I realized that I was not putting myself on stages to be heard, I was putting myself on stages to help others see themselves more clearly,
mhm.
to believe more deeply, to act more boldly, whatever the message is. That helped me as an introvert connect to this inner strength where I was able to bring that confidence on stage because it wasn't about me anymore. And
Right,
as an introvert, we're like, oh, don't put the spotlight on me. And yes, the physical spotlight is on me, but my message is for other people. And so that's what worked for me. And as far as positioning goes, I mean, networking is probably your best friend. That's how the two of us met at the TEDx
right.
event. And I've stayed connected with a lot of the other speakers from that TEDx as
Yeah,
well. And you just never know who you're going to meet and what you might be able to co-create together, like this podcast, and where it might go. So put
right.
yourself out there, even if you don't feel like I'm a super strong speaker right now, just meet other speakers and understand their story and where they came from and know that, we probably weren't born into this world a speaker. We kind of evolved into it, and you can evolve into a confident speaker as well. Just find your people, find your path, find your why.
Yeah, that's a great way to close it out. I really appreciate you coming on, spending a few minutes with me. This has been a lot of fun, and I definitely took a lot of tips for myself, and I hope a lot of people get some value out of some of the clips that you shared as well. But thank you again so much for coming on. This was a total blast.
Absolutely. Thank you. It's a
Of
pleasure.
course, and to everyone watching, I really appreciate you as well, and I'll see you next time. Bye.